Hi, this is Robby Krieger from The Doors, and you're on BackstageAxxess.com, where the real show begins.
Gus Gressinger here at BackstageAxxess.com here at Namm 2016 Gibson booth with the legendary, and I do mean legendary, and fantastic guitar player of The Doors. We just saw him perform a small set, intimate set for the people here at Gibson, and it sounded terrific, Robby.
Well, thanks. It was fun. It's kind of different to do such a, without the drums and low volume.
Had a box where his drummer sat on and kind of played with some broom, sticks,
wire sticks.
Yeah.
It's called a cajon.
Yeah,
it's like basically a box.
Yeah. So it was a little different. Have you guys ever tried that during a live show?
No, but I was just talking to the drummer Ty, and we just said, hey, we should do that. We should try a few songs that way. It might be cool. Because it did sound really good on some of the songs.
It sounded very good. Maybe mix it up. And I have never actually seen you perform till today. This is my first time ever.
Well, you got to come to a real show.
So, Robby, you've actually been touring, and your son's in the band right now. So tell us about the band that you have and the touring that you have been doing the last handful of years.
Well, ever since Ray passed away, for a while I just didn't feel like doing Doors stuff. I have another band which I do jazz fusion kind of stuff. It's called Robby Krieger's Jam Kitchen.
Yep.
And so I didn't really want to do the Doors stuff, and until my son Waylon said he wanted to try singing. In fact, he did come and sing a few Doors songs at some of our Jam Kitchen shows. Mm-hmm. And little by little we started doing more Doors stuff, and that's when we started this band.
And how long have you been performing with your son as a vocalist?
Probably a year and a half now.
It's been going pretty good. I know you did some dates around us. Unfortunately, I was unable to go. I'm from Buffalo. I know you did Albany, you did Pittsburgh, which isn't too far. So you've been out and about and getting good feedback from the band, right?
I think so, yeah. We seem to get... We got one bad review, which stays right at the top of the Google,
You got to search a little bit more, right?
Robby Krieger sucks at the Paramount.
I might get into a couple of Doors questions for a lot. Obviously, there's so many fans out there are still huge fans of your music and the music you created. The Feast of Friends DVD, can you tell us about that?
Feast of Friends was our first video, that we put together for the Doors, and it's basically a guy with a camera following us around, on a tour. And it's pretty good, I think, because it's very realistic, and for those days that was kind of unusual to have a camera crew following you around, back in the 60s. But we're lucky we did. We had some film student friends that came with us, and I'm glad we got that stuff.
I saw recently, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but way back when, and I don't know if it had to do with the Doors, at the time the Doors were together or before the Doors were together, but did you know that Harrison Ford was okay, I'm sure you heard about that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever meet him before?
Well, I mean, he used to come to our gigs.
So it was the Doors. It was not before the Doors. Okay,
no, it wasn't
the Doors.
Before the Doors. It was during the early days of the Doors. And, I guess he was working as a grip or something like that.
Yep, film student,
and
I believe.
our buddies also worked there. And I don't know whether he went to UCLA or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was part of that crew.
Right.
And... I saw an article recently where he talked about it. It's pretty cool.
He said, he goes, the partying way back when, he said that kind of woke him up a little bit.
Well, he was the guy that used to get us the good Acapulco Gold,
Well, any material from, you were talking about Ray, The Doors of the 21st Century, any of that stuff going to ever be released at any point?
That's a good question. We never really finished any of it, but there are a couple of songs that I would like to come out. And just recently talked with Tom Vitorino, who was our manager,
Right.
still is my manager for the live stuff.
Right.
And I told him, hey man, there's a couple of those songs, why not put them out? And so he was going to talk to Ian, and that's the last I heard of it. So we'll see.
Bright Midnight Records, will they release any more shows?
That's a good question. I think we've pretty much released everything that is releasable.
Okay.
So far. So unless somebody comes up with, people find tapes and stuff
Right.
all the time, and there is one thing from the London Fog, which was the place that we played at before the Whiskey back in '66. So unfortunately they lost half of the tape or something, so we're trying to find that other half.
I don't think people realize when people recorded stuff, because tape was so expensive, they had to tape stuff. Nobody thought about saving stuff, and they taped over, and so nothing was ever saved, especially TV shows back then. A lot of stuff was kind of, either lost or taped over or whatnot. So to find hidden gems like that, especially now, I don't know if that would ever, stuff would ever appear unless it's in somebody's attic somewhere and they're cleaning it out.
Yeah, exactly. Or sometimes people hold on to that stuff hoping
Right.
it'll go up in value at some point, but you never know.
The last performance with Jim Morrison at the Warehouse, was that anything ever released with any audio or video, do you know, of that show?
Nothing was officially released from it. It was pretty bad, really, as I remember.
The bootleg or the show itself?
The show.
Oh, okay.
There is some tapes of that.
Okay.
And I bet you that'll come out one of these days.
Okay. Working with Jim Morrison, obviously, maybe even has to be considered, maybe, I don't want to say the greatest frontman of all time, but definitely in the top couple, if not the greatest frontman of all time. I mean, we're talking 45 years since he's passed. I mean, do you ever recollect and say, I can't believe that, I was a part of such an amazing time and a piece of rock and history?
I never think of it that way, really, but I do consider myself very lucky to have been part of it, and of course at the time we didn't realize how cool
Right.
it was. We just, hey, this is fun, but yeah, it's a good thing to be able to look back on.
Writing songs with Jim and the band, how was it, maybe Light My Fire obviously is a track that you wrote, how did the creative process with you and Jim and the rest of the guys, was it really a democracy, or did you and Jim come up with most of the songs? How did that work?
Jim and I really wrote most of the stuff, and then we would all work it out together, So it was a four-man team, just, different times. At first, Jim wrote all the songs, in the early days. But then at one point, we realized we didn't have enough originals. We had maybe 6. And so Jim said, why don't you guys try and write some too, So I went home, and the first one I did was Light My Fire.
Not bad.
It was downhill ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could ever top that, but yeah, I think you did pretty good. You did. That's a good start.
But it worked all different ways.
Yeah.
For a while, Jim and I wrote a bunch of stuff together for like the second album and some of the first album. That was a good period. He stayed at my house for about a month, and we really came up with a lot of good stuff. And then later, you know, either a lot of times I would come up with some music, and then Jim would either try to put some words to it, or if he couldn't think of anything, we'd look in through his poetry books and find stuff, you know. He had tons of great poetry, and like, for instance, Peace Frog was done that way.
Now, way back when, and I keep on saying way back when because Jim has been gone for, like I said, 45 years. Did you ever, like, did you say, you know, he's different, you know, he's unique, you know what I mean? He's a different cat, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It took about a month before I realized that totally, but it was pretty obvious. Yeah.
Now, are you writing any new music with the current band that you're incarnation with your son and whatnot?
With the group that does the Doors stuff, not
the
really.
band that you're in right now,
not really. But I'm thinking about it. You know, I'm talking to my son Waylon about it. He writes some good songs, and so we're going to get on that track. I mainly been writing instrumental stuff, you know, which I do with my other band, Jam Kitchen.
Right.
So I haven't really wrote a lot of pop songs lately. But I'm starting to do some movie soundtracks stuff now. So I'm writing some songs for
And what's the status of your jazz band, the other band that you just keep on talking about?
We're in the middle of recording a record right now.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll be out in the spring, late spring.
Are you going to tour on that?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay. Buffalo, perhaps?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
We love you on the East Coast. Got to bring the love to the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
So I believe this is the 50th year for the Doors. Am I right? Is it 4950?
Yeah, it will be 07 or 17.
Okay, so next year. So we're at 49 right now. Is there going to be any type of special?
Yeah, that's the official word from the office.
Okay, so the office says 50 years next year.
67 was the year of the Doors. So.
All right. Any special?
Even though we started in 66, really.
Yeah, I thought it was 66. That's why I had asked 49 or 50. So I'm asking the man here because obviously you would know. But you're getting the word from the office, so somebody's actually telling you, right, for official.
Right. Yeah. No, we should have some cool stuff to come out next year.
Are you and John going to get together at all and do anything? You think?
Yeah, we actually did a thing together about 6 months ago. That was pretty cool down at the LACMA Museum. He doesn't like to play drums anymore with loud music because he's got tinnitus really bad. But and we're talking about you know, doing something in 17. So I'm hoping he'll be able to do it.
Well, hopefully he will, because obviously there's somebody like myself and a lot of people out there would like to see a celebration of the band. Obviously there's only two of you guys left, but still anything, I think, like the Beatles, how they celebrated their 50th with Paul and Ringo when they went back to the Lundgren show and did a little special.
Cool. Yeah.
So it was cool. It's still, you know, to reminisce about, you know, the old days and talk about Jim, of course, and Ray, and how you guys got together and whatnot. So we're definitely looking forward to hopefully in 2017 to see you guys out there. And wrapping up here at the Gibson booth, did you want to say anything to your fans about, you know, obviously the new record that's coming out with your other band and anything else?
I've got a new studio back
the Jam Kitchen.
Yeah, in Glendale. It's actually called Horse Latitudes.
How do you get these names? Where do you come up with these names?
Horse Latitudes is one of the Doors songs. It's from the second album.
All right.
It's right after Moonlight Drive. There's a little poem thing that's called Horse Latitudes.
All right, I'm not familiar with that track.
Yeah, and so I've been doing some projects down there, and like I say, I'm doing some film stuff. And recording my own record there too. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing this year. And then hopefully 17 we'll do some really cool tribute stuff for Ray and Jim, and get the Doors thing going.
Awesome. And you'll be touring, I believe, with your band right now, with your son, right?
Right. We're going to East Coast. Well, we're going to Florida next week, but in March we're going to do some stuff in the Midwest, and then come back east in April.
Okay. So check that out, and I believe you want to say the site that they can go to and check the dates out.
Yeah, RobbyKrieger.com.
Okay. So check out RobbyKrieger.com.
Also, I've got a Gibson guitar coming out. It actually came out as a signature model last year.
SG?
No, it's I had an SG come out a couple of years ago, but this one is a Les Paul. It's a Black Beauty.
Okay.
It's patterned after my '54 one that I used in that Hollywood Bowl thing. You can see it on a couple of videos, and it came out really nice. They're going to do a factory run on that, so that should be out fairly soon.
Okay, so obviously check that out, and you heard it here. We're at Gibson, so the one of the longest endorsees, right? You've been with Gibson for how many years?
Well, I've been using Gibsons since the beginning, since '66.
Right.
But they didn't really sign me up as for doing my models. Only about 5 years ago. It took them a while to catch on.
Anyways, this is a legend here we're talking to, but it's nice to see that Gibson's finally recognizing and getting a couple models out there for the fans, the diehards who like to play. And
one more thing, if I could mention.
Okay, go ahead.
We do a benefit every year for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. We have a big golf tournament and then concert afterwards. Last year we had Alex Lifeson and Alice Cooper, a bunch of guys, and this year it should be even bigger.
And when's that going to be?
That's in August 29th, I think it is.
And is that here?
In LA. It's in LA.
In LA, okay.
Yeah. And also have another charity thing I'm doing called the Music Path. I'm trying to get music into the schools again.
Very important.
Yeah, so look for the Music Path. There should be a website coming up pretty soon.
So, like I was saying, Robbie, you want to make sure I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to. Do we have everything covered?
I think we do. I'm sure I'll think of something else.
Like I was saying earlier, we have a legend here, so anytime he wants to say anything, I'm going to sit here and listen. And go to RobbyKrieger.com for all the details, and I'm sure he'll talk about the charity shows that you're doing and the new Gibson that's going to be coming out very shortly, and the dates with your band and the Jam Kitchen CD that's going to be coming out. So all that stuff you can go to your websites and social media,
Facebook one,
and the Facebook media, social to check everything out. And that's pretty much it, right? I think we got everything covered here.
So,
all right. So Gus Gressinger here, BackstageAxxess.com, Namm 2016 with the one and only Robby Krieger.